This is Cinema Express, and it's lovely to talk to you today. I'm very excited for Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein, and to be honest, I watched it last night. I binge watched it more like. So I have a lot of questions. So let's start with something that's running on my mind. There is a dialogue about DDLJ in the film at the beginning, and I want to know how, if you intended on it to be a dark twist on the classic, or was that just like a byproduct of that dialogue that just happened unintentionally? Because it kind of reminded me as I continued to watch that.
I think it was a byproduct of the scene. It had nothing to do with a statement on the film. The film is, it's one of our favorites. So no, it was that moment which we needed to underline a moment where so we use that. You use that medium to express that. Otherwise, I think there was no statement on DDLJ.
Right.
But it was just to underline that moment, because it's a very popular moment, even in the Indian audiences. It's a classic popular moment, so we use that.
Yeah, frankly, I don't even remember the moment that she's talking about.
Initial episodes.
Palat.
That is DDLJ. Yeah, Palat.
I always thought that it was not DDLJ but Raju Bandiya Gentleman. Nana Patekar does that. Either ways, but just used it because we wanted to get inspired. Frankly, there is no connotation to it as such.
I think sometimes when you're communicating with your viewers and your audience responds to certain references in pop culture, so I think it naturally comes into scenes where you're communicating certain things with a kind of flair that anyone will get it and anyone will enjoy that moment. It's not necessarily to kind of draw from any particular film, I'm assuming, because that wasn't the intention as far as I remember.
My next question is about Vikrant's frustration with Purva. At one point, even I was frustrated with the whole thing, how his hand was forced almost at every moment of his life. So while writing it, what was it that inspired that frustration on paper, and how did you translate it on screen?
So so the idea which came up was that, when you're on the wrong side of a powerful person, and if the powerful person hates you, then you're in trouble. But what if the powerful person loves you? And what if you don't? So what happens then? Because then it's far more frustrating, because the other person just loves you. So I guess that's the whole. It's a very difficult part, because that's what makes it very unique. The telling is because that guy is always caged. He's getting caged constantly, and he is discovering things about himself which is not aware of, because that the situation pushes you to certain areas which you otherwise are. That doesn't leave you with options. What do you do if the powerful fall in love with you and you're not in love with them? Is what our initial thought was, and to put it on paper is the most difficult part, because we want the audience to be in his state of mind. Only then you will understand what he's doing. So that's the difficult part, which with Anna, would you like to add something? And
I think, the very foundation of this, the premise of this story is all around love, desire, and power. So I think that in that interplay, when your protagonist, when Vikrant is, struggling to survive this circumstance that he's found himself in, this passive kind of coercion that she puts, he's kind of subjected to, creates that sense of frustration in the character, and you need that, because the story is Vikrant's and you need to empathize with him. And to be able to evoke that empathy, his frustration had to be built.
So during the process of building frustration, there's a moment where he tries to shoot Purva, but he's unable to. And there's a dialogue that says that, it's not just enough to hate to kill someone. There needs to be an absence of humanity. But the very next moment, he, drives over someone. Like from here to there, what is that transitionary moment? What is the defining moment for him, for his character to go against his own?
He is, of course, I just hope it does not come out, but this is, that man was about to kill Shikha that time. He did not have an option. He did not like it. He does that instinctively, and then he's sitting constantly. They're all sitting in silence. They know that they have done something which is how you and me would react, if we do something, because we are pushed to that situation where your loved one is being killed by the wrong people. So I think that's the journey, and that's what in the next scene Golden tells him that you're becoming one of them, which is what is happening. You are pushing the guy into a direction which he never was. He was a very simple guy who never ever he had very simple dreams. He never wanted big dreams. He just wanted a small house, small everything. That's how small he thought it was. So when you are pushing such a person because of the power dynamics and all, then he will react. And at that is very instinctive. But the whole idea is to show that, how an ordinary person, what does he do to protect his people?
I'd like Varun to also talk about where the story came from and how it was when he heard it the first time, and what it was like, to work on this film as a whole.
So the story is not my doing at all.
Mm-hmm.
These two people sitting here, they have worked on the story. They have lived it. They've lived with it for the last 20 years. And as far as my coming into this whole setup and doing the dialogues is concerned, so I am almost like a compulsory blind of Siddharth Sengupta. He has to play that blind in each and every show. I bring him luck, so that is why he. That is why I have done dialogues of almost all the shows that he's made till now. The story is not my doing at all. The story, the credit completely goes to these two. And then the most difficult part, apart from story, is screenplay. So Siddharth took it upon himself to do the screenplay. And then, frankly, the easiest part was left, and that was to do the dialogues. Because the whole screenplay and the story was so self-explanatory that I just had to put pen on paper.
Any particular dialogues that that have hit you hard even today? Like even you, on hindsight, you're like, okay, that worked really well for the show. Something like that you have.
Frankly, I'll tell you one thing. There is one dialogue which we've been trying to put in the last 3 shows that we've made, and somehow it fits all the 3 shows, but we put it and then we take it out and we keep it in the bag again. So that dialogue hasn't seen the light of day. Apart from that, there's so many. Which one did you like the best?
Me?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the best dialogue that I liked was the one that I had referred to just before he shoots, the one that where he says that absence of hatred is not enough. That one is one of my favorite dialogues. And the other one is when Shweta's character, Shikha, tells him in the car that you think I'll be the one to live in that house. Yeah, that dialogue hit pretty much. It nailed. So those two are my favorite dialogues from the show.
So if you must have realized while watching those shows that most of the dialogues are pretty situational. We haven't tried to we haven't tried to overachieve through our dialogues. बहुत filmy नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. All the dialogues are just apt. So yeah, at times it is a difficult thing to achieve because though your dialogues should sound more like a conversation, but still they should be juicy enough to keep the audiences interested.
Mhm.
So, but then, as I said, you know, as you would have noticed, that the pace of the show is so good, that everything else is incidental. Everything else just supports the flow of the story. So, I guess it wasn't really difficult after a point doing dialogues for this show.
I'd like to ask Anna and Siddharth both them, like, what was the beginning point for the show? Like, where did it all begin?
We were much younger, but now let Anna answer that.
Well, I think this is over 20 years back that Goldie and I were busy with television. And in those days, we would just hang out and constantly bounce ideas. And, we both loved, this genre and, these crimes of passion and, love stories, which are like totally nuts and intense and, whacked out. And so, and we wanted this whole space of, that masala pulp thriller so we've always been discussing such ideas, and this idea was very special to us, and that's why it would always come up over the years, and we would even try to spin it for different at different times, but those were television days, and somehow it never fit in for us. We would never feel like the story will be told the way it must be told. And today, in retrospect, when we are on Netflix with the show and we're ready to release it, it's like we say, there's divine grace in every creative process, and this gestation period was required for the idea to have grown into what it is today. And so initially, I would just say it was a really, really great concept that we both were very, very stubborn about, that we've stuck on with it till now. And now the interpretation for an OTT audience, it's quite the way we would like to tell this story, and we really hope that people enjoy it.
So, how did the cast come into the show? Like, why did you think Vikrant must be played by Tahir or Shika must be played by Shweta? Like, how did that work about?
What we wanted is that the simple people, ordinary people, are subjected to this love story. So while Vikrant, why Tahir? Tahir is a brilliant actor with a huge range, and to get into see like the way you said that you watch the show, to get into the character's mind, the actor has to deliver something which is it's not written there, it's on another level where he has to take you must feel him. That's the whole idea, and I needed a very good actor for that. I had seen Tahir's work earlier, so we collectively thought that okay, let's explore him. And when I met him and the kind of homework he was putting in during the initial stages also, he's got a whole book full of his notes. And so that's the kind of devotion I was looking for this guy, because we are running the whole show. The story is being told through his mental state, his mental progression, his mental trajectory. With Shika, Shweta Tripathi does not need an introduction. She is fabulous. I am a big fan of her since Haramkhor days. So, I had given her the script, and when she said yes, I was very happy, because she said, "Sir, I just finished the script in one go." So and it was very good that she became a part of it. We are very fortunate for that. Anchal was with us in a show called Andekhi, which we had made, and we had actually Varun had suggested Anchal's name, and she fits the role to the T. This is exactly what we were looking for. We are not looking for the quintessential girl who is the power play, that symbol. we wanted a real person. So, so that is where she came in from, and she's done a great job. Saurabh Shukla, I have been working with him since the time I started my career. He did my first show as a writer and as an actor. So, and I am a big fan of his writing also. So anyway, so we go a long way back, and I thought there couldn't be a better choice than Saurabh Shukla for that role. Brijendra Kala, again, we go back at the same time. He is a sweetheart and a great actor. Surya Sharma was with me in Andekhi. He is fabulous. I don't think so Surya also needs any kind of introduction, this acting capabilities. And the last one, who's the surprise, is Anant Joshi, the guy who plays Golden. He's fabulous. He is fabulous. I had seen him once in one of the shows, and I knew it since then that I wanted to work with this guy. So this is how things came. And Sunita Rajwar, excellent actress. We've seen her in Good Luck. We've seen her in other shows. She's brilliant. Hetal Gada, the sister who plays the sister, is from I'd seen her in Dhanak, and she is fabulous. I mean, so all these actors together are once you have a script that you believe in, and once you have super actors like that who own it, in their own way, I think the ride becomes beautiful. So.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking your time out. I wish you a good release. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show. This part we've not discussed. Since
yes. Yes, we have. I have. Which is why I watched it, in one night.